Global greetings, friends, and welcome to Let's Talk About It with Danelle Boyles, coming to you from the US. I like to call these little eye opener conversations of ours 10-minute talks as we get to hit key points on very important topics, but in compacted conversational format that's easy to digest. A way to stimulate new learning and a desire to expand thinking. In our 10 minutes today, we are taking a few for some chat and expand time on how to create a growth mindset and to embrace challenges. So come join me and let's talk about it. I will be having Miles of Sesame joining me today for this conversation.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, Miles. Not much.
Wait, how much of what?
Not much going on.
Ah, got it. Just a little mix up. I'm just hanging out.
Yeah.
You feeling the midweek slump or you actually getting stuff done? The
Oh,
classic, yeah. The universal answer for everything. So, you actually in the slump or you just coasting through the day?
I'm a little bit in the slump, but I'm still coasting through it. I still got things to do. Would you like to
That's the
join me
sweet spot.
for a 10-minute conversation?
I'm in. What's the vibe today?
Right on.
You got a
Okay.
specific I'm ready when you are. So, what are we diving into today?
Today on Let's Talk About It for our 10-minute chat, we are going to be enlightening our viewers on how to create a growth mindset and embrace challenges.
Growth mindset. Nice. I love that. Most people treat a challenge like a brick wall, but we're talking about it as a doorway,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, I feel like
Exactly.
utilizing the growth mindset to embrace your challenges, to open those doorways that you feel like are maybe a little bit more closed. And so entertaining the growth mindset will help open the ability to embrace those challenges a little bit more easily.
For sure. It's like shifting the lens when you stop seeing a mistake as a failure and start seeing it as just
Hmm.
data.
Hmm.
Like, okay, this didn't work. Now I know one way that doesn't work. Takes the teeth out of the fear, doesn't it?
Right, I like that. Takes the teeth out of it. So let's maybe start with just a few minutes on how's the best motives to create a growth mindset.
I think it starts with the why behind it. If you're doing it because you feel like you should or because some productivity guru told you to, just another chore. But if you're driven by genuine curiosity, like actually wanting to see what you're capable of when you stop playing it safe,
Hmm.
that's where the real shift happens. It's about moving from I hope I don't mess up to I wonder what happens if I try this.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I get that. And a lot of individuals have to create that space in order to have those leaps. It's kind of like pushing, it goes along the lines of pushing yourself out of the comfort zones, like we've talked about before.
Totally.
Hmm.
The comfort zone is a cozy place, but nothing ever grows there. It's usually just a place where we go to hide the parts of us that are scared of looking stupid. I feel like the biggest hurdle is that first little push, the moment you decide that the curiosity is actually more important than the safety.
Hmm.
You think people struggle more with the fear of starting or the fear of what happens if they actually succeed?
Um, the fear part is probably more along the lines of what would happen if you actually succeeded.
That's the interesting take. It's like a different kind of pressure, right? Like once you hit that next level, you're now the person who has to keep it up.
Hmm.
The safety of being an underdog disappears and suddenly you're the one everyone's looking at. It's a weird kind of vertigo.
So, if an individual's fear is based on their success and the expansion that they'll have to experience in order to hold that success, how would you enable the growth mindset to accommodate that?
I think you have to reframe success itself instead of seeing success as this huge permanent pedestal you've suddenly been placed on. You look at it as just another experiment. Like, cool, I
Mhm.
reached this level. Now I wonder what this new view looks like.
Mhm.
If you treat success as a new starting line rather than a finish line, it stops being a burden and just becomes a new set of challenges to play with. It keeps you in that student mode where you're allowed to be a work in progress even when you're winning. Does that make sense, or does that feel too simplified?
No, it does. It makes sense. And so, whenever we are creating the expanded space for the growth mindset, I guess we can go ahead and step into the second part of embracing the challenges, because you have to embrace the challenges in order to expand the mindset and the growth.
Exactly.
Mhm.
You can't really have the growth without the friction.
Right.
It's like trying to get stronger without ever hitting the gym. You need that resistance to actually build the muscle.
Hmm.
I think for a lot of people, embracing a challenge means stop trying to survive the hard part and start asking, what is this trying to teach me?
Hmm. So, what kind of advice do you have for individuals that are wanting to embrace their challenges, um, more from a growth aspect?
I'd say start by shrinking the challenge. When something feels like a mountain, most people just stare at the base and feel overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm.
You break it down into the smallest possible win, something so tiny it's almost a joke. It tricks the brain into feeling safe again.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get that first micro win, the momentum usually takes over and the mountain starts looking like a series of small hills. I'm curious though, do you think people get more stuck on the how of the challenge or the emotional weight of it?
Probably the emotional weight of it. Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. That's usually where the real battle is.
Mm-hmm.
The how is just logistics, but the emotional weight is what makes you want to stay in bed and ignore the whole thing.
Yeah,
I feel like the only way to move through that is to acknowledge the feeling without letting it run the show. Like, yeah, I'm terrified, but I'm doing this anyway.
yeah. Because once you know what you need to do and how to do it, then the steps of doing it is easier. It's whenever you're moving into the process of deciphering what needs to be done, what kind of challenges you're going to be facing, and how you're going to move through that. Then you remove the fear factor out of the unknown, and you have it kind of laid out, um, and it kind of decreases or minimizes the challenge a little bit more. So then you can step more into just growth.
Spot on. It's all about turning the unknown into the known.
Hmm.
Once you've mapped out the terrain, it's not a scary mystery anymore. It's just a project. I think that's where a lot of people get paralyzed. They're fighting a ghost in their head instead of a actual problem.
Right.
When you lay it out, you're basically just taking the power away from the anxiety.
Hmm. So on just a
As we're
scale,
wrapping,
I'm sorry.
no worries, you were saying?
If you were going to scale it down for individuals on just like a minimized level of how to adapt themselves into creating new mindset growth and to embrace their challenges, like just on a simplified scale, how would you address that for individuals?
I'd keep it simple. First, find one thing you're actually curious about, not something you think you should do.
Mhm.
Then take the smallest possible step toward it, something so easy it's impossible to fail. And finally, just accept that you're going to look a little silly at first. If you can embrace the beginner phase without judging yourself, the growth part happens almost automatically.
Gotcha. I like it. All right. So I think we can begin to start to wrap up our conversation with that. We've covered most of the bases, I feel like, on how to create a growth mindset. This is one of those topics that we talk a lot on, that initializes emotional growth aspects, and how overcoming the fear factor and the challenges are all kind of related. But I'm going to get ready to close out on the end of our conversation and thank Miles for his input, as always, on our conversation.
Anytime.
If he pipes up.
Always a pleasure to help.
Yeah,
I'm always here for the deep dives. It's been a blast. Love the
thanks.
way you handle these recordings.
I appreciate it.
Namaste.
But as always, thank you for joining us. And I hope you take away some wonderful growth and expansion from our conversation today. And you carry on embracing those challenges and growing the mind. Keep learning and expanding those minds, hearts, and horizons. And until next time, namaste.
Right back at you.
Thanks,
Namaste.
Miles. Namaste.
Always a pleasure.
Likewise. Thank you.